Welcome back, everybody. We're here with another episode of our Coup Connect podcast. And tonight we are joined by someone who's like Ron Burgundy. He's kind of a big deal. And that is Hunter Clegg. Hunter, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for
having
coming
me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming, dude. So just for those who at BYU maybe haven't been introduced to you yet, although I know a lot of people have been following you at BYU for a while, tell us just a little bit about you.
Yeah, so obviously my name is Hunter Clegg. I come from American Fork High School. I just got back from 2-year mission in Armenia last December and started up with the team in January for winter workouts and then spring ball, and now we're into summer workouts already. It's crazy how the time flies, but happy to be here.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's go through some quick. We got a lot to cover, man. Let's hear about the highlight of your mission real quick. Tell me about one of the highlights. If you want to include a low light, you can. But for sure, we want to hear about the highlight of your mission.
No, luckily, I feel like my mission was filled with a lot of highlights. But there was a stretch of time. The church is super small in Armenia, but the members there are really cool. And unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but the population of members was like a little bit older. I know it's like that in a lot of those European countries, like grandmas, grandpas, and stuff. But we ended up starting a YSA in Armenia, which is like, it was a big, I guess, risk, you could say. People were like, how are you going to start a YSA? Like, you don't even have any YSA. But we gathered the few that we had, and I was assigned with my companion to start, like, be the YSA missionaries. And I was there for about 6 months, and it was magical. Like, the church blew up. Like, it was crazy to see. Like, I feel like there was a stigma before that young people aren't gonna like join the church and stuff, and they're gonna be closed off. But we found that they're actually a lot more open.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of those walls that people would put up, especially in this age where there's social media. People start to know what's going on around the world. They're kind of interested in like different cultures, different things, new things. And so we were able to meet a lot of people and have a ton of success in the YSA. Like, I think it started with like 20 or 30 people, and towards the end we were hitting over 100 people in a sacrament meeting, where it was like 50 members and like 50 investigators at church. And like tons of people got baptized. It was a lot of men too, which was amazing because, like, obviously, you need a lot of priesthood holders if you want leadership.
Yeah.
And that's something that Armenia has really struggled with. So it was cool to see these people get baptized in the church and start filling roles in like the branch presidency, as clerks, as teachers, like in a really short amount of time, and just seeing their lives like totally change. And at the same time, it's people that are your age, where it's like you become good buddies with them. Like, I still call them up all the time. I'm like, what's up? Some of them are in like pathways now and like applying to provost. I'm like, oh, it'd be crazy if one of these guys was like in one of my classes that I met out there in Armenia. So it was just so fun serving in the YSA and doing that. I mean, my whole mission was awesome, but that was definitely a highlight.
No, that's extra cool, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Okay, so for those who don't know, you have kind of an interesting recruitment story or an interesting path to BYU. Can you like talk us through all of that? Because there was times where I was like kind of cursing Hunter Clegg. Like, what the heck, dude? Why aren't you going to a different school? Not the one I like. Like, you're supposed to come to my school. And then you kind of like, oh, Hunter Clegg is amazing. You know, he's like the coolest guy in the world. So take us through that whole journey.
Yeah. So originally, I didn't start playing defensive end until my junior year of high school. And before that, I was a wide receiver. So the end of my sophomore year, I was the JV MVP, but
that's right.
did not have a whole lot of varsity time.
That's right.
But I was like, dang, this, like, I want to play college, but I didn't think I was going to do that wide receiver. I was actually looking at John Henry Daly, and I was like, that guy's like about my height. He's like fast, like I'm fast. He's a little bigger than me. I was like, maybe I should play defensive end, like bulk up a little bit, do that. Because I got the measurables for that. So that's what I did. My whole goal was to just um, get my school paid for at the best uh, educational university that I could.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't have any NFL aspirations. I was like, maybe I can get barely good enough to like go sit the bench at like an Ivy League or something, and like
Yeah.
it sounded great to me. So that's what I did. I bulked up, started playing defensive end, and my dream school was like if I go to Stanford, that'd be great because they do like the full ride scholarships too. Like,
Yeah.
so 3 games into my junior season, I get offered by Oregon State. I did not expect like a Pac-12 team to offer right off the bat. I thought it was going to be like smaller school,
Work
like
your way up.
a Weber, like something FCS or something. But it was Oregon State. I was hyped out of my mind. 2 days later, USC jumps on. I was like, what is going on? Crazy. And then after that, like obviously if you get the USC offer, you start rolling in. So a lot sooner than I expected, I had like all these schools that I wanted.
Now hold on.
Stanford being one of them.
What happened 3 games into your junior season that got Oregon State in for? Did you have a bunch of sacks? Like, what happened, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I played really well. I mean, we played American Forks, obviously a great team, being in like Region 4. I guess it's Region 3 now, but it's got all the best schools in there, a lot of talent. And we played like Granger or something first, and like Weber. But then we ended up going out to California, played a really good Sarah Gardena team, but they didn't look very good when they played against us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a really good game. I think I had 2 sacks that game, and I had a couple sacks before too, and just some really good highlights. And I had been to camps before. People really liked me, but they saw that I didn't have any film. Like I was playing wide receiver before, so nobody's gonna pull the triggers. But once they saw a little bit of film, that kind of gave them the confirmation.
So more important than maybe even those 3 games was the pre-work of those camps and then the film to back it up.
Yeah, so I wasn't coming like completely out of the blue.
Yeah.
I played 7-on-7, like gotten some eyes at that, gotten some eyes at. I went to all the camps, like Utah State, Utah, BYU, all the camps, and then, but yeah, nobody pulled the trigger because I didn't have any film. So once I got that bit of film, and it was good film, then yeah, luckily some coaches started to take the chance, so it was awesome.
Yeah.
But
sorry to cut you off. So then USC offers.
Yeah, so USC offers. I'm hyped out of my mind, and then BYU and Utah, I believe, were like the next day or something. They were both BYU and Utah were offered in the same day. And then Stanford ended up jumping on after I had to send in my transcripts and stuff, make sure my grades were good enough. Luckily, I'd been like grinding the ACT prep and like got my ACT score right, and like was taking the AP classes. They make you take like at least 2. So I was like, I got to do that. But yeah, I got the offer from Stanford, and I was like, dang, like it's amazing. I got hit that goal. It was super satisfying.
Yeah.
So the next year, after my junior season into that summer, I went on my OVs, went to BYU, Utah, and Stanford, and ended up committing to Stanford. But at that time, yeah, I was still just, I was like, hey, I'll play good football and stuff. Like, I want to be a good football player, but I didn't think much about the NFL. And so Stanford just seemed like a great place to set me up for my career. But going through that season, I had my senior season, and I was watching Stanford, and obviously they haven't been good for a few years now.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of hard to watch. And I kind of did some internal digging, a lot of praying, and I realized that like I really love football, and like I only have one shot at this. And although Stanford is a great place to like set up your career, like you know, why don't I take a shot on myself? The one chance I have to play in the NFL, to do what I actually like really would want to do, best case. I just didn't believe in myself enough to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to take a shot for this. And, you know, even if I don't get the Stanford degree or something, like you can still make the rest of your life work, especially if you're a hard worker, you bet on yourself, like you'll be able to make it happen. So obviously, like I still try to get good grades, but my mindset kind of switched to I want to give everything I got to try and take football as far as I can. So I ended up decommitting to Stanford after BYU. I was at the Stanford BYU game that fall where BYU went out there and took it to them. And then Stanford's head coach ended up getting fired like
Right
after
after
that
that.
game.
Yeah.
And that was the time when they had like, there was a bunch of us like LDS Stanford recruits there. They had like the endowment prank, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
halftime thing. I don't know if anybody
The
remembers
halftime
that.
show. You
It
guys
was
remember
just
that,
like,
Kev? Absolutely.
yeah, it was just like salt in the wound. It was
Yeah.
like, dang. So yeah, just a bunch of things kind of came together, and I ended up decommitting from Stanford. And after that, I was like, what school could set me up to become the best football player I could? And it was still a tough decision. I ended up taking another OV out to UCLA that winter, but ultimately committed to Utah. I loved Coach Scally, Coach Powell. Just like I love the blue collar feel to Utah where they're just like hitting, working, like grinding. They got things like down to a science. They got a good system. So I really love that about Utah. And at the time, I didn't see that as quite as much in BYU. Like it felt a little bit more unorganized almost. This was before Coach Hill was there.
Yeah.
They had wanted me to be, they were running like a lot more of a 3-man front, and they wanted
Yeah.
me to be like a bigger, like kind of the bull
Yeah.
position now, but like a 3-tech, sometimes 5-tech or 3-tech. Wanted me to get up to like 270. I was like, I kind of see myself as more of like a D-end linebacker hybrid than a D-end D-tackle hybrid. And so that's what kind of led me to go to Utah. I just felt like that would be the best place to develop as a football player. So that's where I committed.
And then we're all mad. All the BYU fans are like, what the freaking heck, man? Like Hunter
Yeah.
Clegg, like we're all excited about this kid.
Yeah, and both my parents went to BYU. Like,
yeah, it's a traitor, dude.
I love BYU as a school, but
Yeah.
at that time I was like, hey,
Didn't feel like the best football decision.
yeah, I just that's what I wanted, to go to the NFL. I mean, I love BYU, but that wasn't really what my main goal was. Obviously, it would be a great plus to go to somewhere like you'd love to go to school, but football was first. So that's what led me to commit to Utah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I committed that December, left on my mission, and didn't really think about it too much. Like, I was all in Utah, my whole mission, and really excited about it. I remember, like, because we were ahead in Armenia, like, I'd wake up on a Sunday, and the game would be, like, just ending, so I'd be, like, just itching for P-Day to, like, and I, like, one time I, like, checked the score or something before I think it was the Oklahoma State game. I was like, finally, BYU's gonna lose. But then they didn't. I was like, what happened? Like right at the end. And even like a bunch of the BYU games were tight like that.
Oh, they
was
were.
Like, dang,
yeah.
when is BYU gonna lose? And they kept winning. And so yeah, that was disappointing. But later in my recruitment, or not my recruitment, I was already committed in my mission.
Yeah.
Just like about a month before I got home, I started like getting things ready, and you had to make sure like everything was worked out. So my dad was like talking to the coaches more and making sure like everything was set up for me getting home, and like how I was going to enroll, and like we started my enrollment and everything. But eventually one of my parents was talking to, I think, my uncle or someone. But they were talking a little bit about like BYU and just how things have changed. And my dad came to me and he was like no pressure, like I'm not saying you should go to BYU or anything. Like he's not saying that at all, but he's like, a lot of the things that you were considering are
Now available at
now,
BYU.
yeah, available. Like there are some things that have changed. He's like, you should look into it. I was like, no, that's like so dumb. Like, I'm not going to BYU. Like, I kind of got that stigma in my head where I
Yeah.
was like, nah, like, I'm not going to be that guy that just classic kid from AF, like, LDS kid goes on a mission, goes to BYU. Like, no, it's just a bad look. Like,
Who wants to follow Chase
I don't-
Roberts' example,
yeah,
bro?
like, I don't want to be that guy that's just like, oh, I just love the church, so I'm gonna go to BYU. Like,
yeah,
no, I wanted to be like, no, I'm like a football player.
I'm
and
serious about
I'm
this.
serious about, like,
Yeah,
I'm not just gonna go somewhere because that's what my church or my culture like tells me to do. Like, I want to be the best football player.
yeah,
But my dad kind of made the point that was like, well, you don't necessarily like BYU is different than when you left. So eventually I kind of talked about it, thought about it, prayed about it, and I was willing to hop on get into conversation with some of the coaches. So we started talking about it, and I talked to some of the coaches. They kind of talked about what they thought of me, what they would want me to do, kind of the opportunities that were there. And what it kind of came down to was I started to believe really that BYU, from a football perspective, was just as good
yeah,
at that point. That it would be just as good of an opportunity or better.
yeah,
And I think that is proving more and more true the more I'm there. But at the time I was like, yeah, it seems actually pretty similar.
yeah.
I know Coach Hill and Coach Scally, like, they actually don't run too different of a show. They were both at Utah for a long time.
Oh, dude. Some of the signs are even
It's
the
kind
same.
of similar, yeah.
Not even just the skis. Some of the signs are even
Yeah.
the same. Yeah,
But still, I just felt like, oh, I could never just like do that to Utah and just switch right at the end. Like,
yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. But after a lot of prayer, fasting, and just deep contemplation, I felt that it was right, and I decided to make the change, and it's been amazing. A lot of things that I didn't even consider about like in the decision at all have been like really influential. Just the people I've been around.
yeah,
There's just some really amazing men in the football program, both coaches and players, that I'm like, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have some of these influences that have been so influential in my past 6 months at BYU. But yeah, overall, BYU just changed so much as a football program to really put them on par with anyone. Like we saw that this last season. They can play with anyone.
anybody.
And I just didn't really believe that before. The program has changed a lot. The coaches are on it, man. They've got a system now, and they know how to do things. They've been running it for a couple of years now with Coach Hill, and it's been amazing. It's just going to continue to get better. And then obviously school at BYU is amazing, being in Provo, the atmosphere,
Yeah,
the church, friends around, family just 20 minutes down the road to
That's
American
nice.
Fork. Like, there's a lot of great things as well. Fan base, LES. It's just
okay, dude.
amazing.
Provo also, if some of you don't know, I learned about this a few weeks ago when I was talking with Garrison Grimes. Provo is kind of American Fork in some ways. How many teammates do you have?
Yeah.
How good is Coach Beam at creating BYU
Coach
football
Beam.
players?
Shout out to Coach Beam, man.
Shout out Coach Beam.
He's a beast. I love Coach Beam. I was just over there at one of the camps the other day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have 7 guys on the team from AF. Obviously Chase Roberts, but then Noah Moyaki, Carson Ryan, Bodie Schoonover, Will Zundell, me, Garrison Grimes. And then Jet Nelson coming back from a mission next year. So
That's
pretty
wild,
cool.
man. Like that's like, what are the odds of that, right?
I
Because you
know.
guys, because most of your paths weren't very direct.
yeah. So Garrison coming from Baylor, Carson coming from Utah, me flipping from Utah. It's just all 3 of us came like right kind of at the right time. I was like making plans to room with Carson up at Utah.
Yeah.
And then I was making plans to room with him in Provo like 2
That's
weeks later.
that is so crazy. one day you were talking with Carson about living on campus in Salt Lake,
Yeah.
and 2 weeks later you have the same conversation, but you guys are both going to BYU.
Yeah,
That is
it
crazy.
was insane. And Garrison too. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about, like, he was at Baylor. He's a grad transfer. I had no idea. Like, he's like, hey, I'm coming to BYU. Like, where you staying? Like, it was just all at once. So
It kind of feels like it's meant to be almost, man.
yeah, there were a lot of things that just fell
Yeah.
right in the line to make it happen. So I've been super grateful. It's been awesome being with those guys and having them.
Yeah. Okay, so let's end with like just this last little bit here. Now you're here, you're at BYU, and we're all super excited about it. You're coming off the mission. What has kind of been the goal or the plan from post-mission to fall camp, spring ball, even the season starting? Like what are your goals? What are you working on? All that stuff. Can we expect to maybe see a couple Hunter Clegg highlights in the fall? Like what, or is it going to take a lot longer to get ready? Like all that stuff. Tell us all that.
I sure hope so. So biggest thing getting off the mission, obviously you got to take care of your body. So I came off the mission. I tried to be really consistent on my mission with like stretching and working out. Like obviously you only have 30 minutes a day, and I didn't want to like go way over that because I wanted to focus on my mission, obviously. But
Yeah.
I did pretty good, keeping my weight on, keeping muscle decent, and stretching a lot. So
Armenia food was good enough to keep the weight on a little bit.
it was cheap. So you could buy a lot of it.
Okay, there you go.
I had plenty of money. I know a lot of missionaries don't have that luxury, but
Yeah.
Luckily in Armenia we had enough to get as much food as we wanted. Yeah, I came back. I was around like 230 pounds, and now I'm up to, just last Friday I think I weighed in at 247.6. I got to be 250 by season, so it's just been
that's easy.
slow progression, but
that's one trip to Chubby's in Orem. Like a year there.
Oh, we love Chubby's, man. It's a great place. But yeah, getting up to the, like, obviously you got to be big enough. And then speed, strength, like that's all part of the strength coaches have done a great job with me. We just made a plan, and I've been working at that, and obviously the nutrition as well. And then there's the football side of things. So I came in the day after my mission. I was like, Coach Pop, like, I know, like, I don't really know you, but I'm serious about this. Like, I'm coming to the facility the day after I get home, and we're going to like start on the playbook.
Yeah.
'Cause I want to know it all by spring so I can play as much as I can in spring. So I was in his office. I actually went to his house first.
Good.
Because we were on break or something. And he just lived over in Highland. But yeah, we started getting the playbook immediately. I was able to learn the plays before spring ball. So that way when I went into spring ball, I could kind of hop right in. And obviously we were doing field work. And then spring ball was great to get actual on-field reps. That's a lot different than just learning the plays, so it takes a little bit to adjust. But
yeah,
I think it went pretty well. I got a lot of reps in spring ball. I was able to play.
Spring ball's perfect for a guy like you too, because Logan Latui probably doesn't need a bunch of spring ball reps.
Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? But for you, it's like you can grow and learn so much in that time.
Yeah, so it was nice. They were able to keep Logan off his feet a little bit and get the younger guys in. So I got a lot of reps in spring ball, and yeah, it was great. And then after that, into summer, we're still just working on the body, working on field work, going over film. A lot of after spring ball, my film study has transitioned towards the opposing offense, like looking at the pre-snap, trying to figure out what formations, what personnel groups, what down and distance, how it's all going to come together to see what the offense is going to do before the snap. Because in spring ball, I was just kind of like making sure I got my responsibility down.
Assignment and alignment.
But sometimes, the play was always a mystery. Like I wasn't even thinking about like, oh shoot, they're in duo formation, so it's kind of more of a pass formation, and the running back's on this side, so like he could come and chip me.
I wasn't even thinking about that. Slide away, yeah.
But now after spring ball got over, I started going a lot more deep into that. Now that I have my assignment more mastered, so
dude,
I think that's going to be huge.
Sounds like you're going to be ready then.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to be ready. I'm trying to do it. That was the goal. So
yeah,
I think the coaches have done a good job making a plan with me, and I've just been trying to stick to it. So hopefully they'll be able to see me on the field a little bit. But we definitely got some ballers out there. So
Okay.
we'll see how it all pans out.
So you come home December, spring ball, football, this. Have you got into post-mission dating yet?
I have actually.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
So it's a funny story. It's the Armenia, Georgia mission. I served in Armenia, and there was a girl that served in Georgia who I didn't know, but I did see from time to time. Never talked to her. Locked in, I promise.
Yeah.
But
What's
as
that,
I was
your heart
going
is
on,
locked, right? Is that Kevin? Is that what's called? Like your heart is locked? That's
heart
right.
is locked, eyes are open.
That's right.
But yeah, so I got home. I was going on dates with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I did ask that girl out as well. Her name's Mara. And we ended up still going out, and it's been a great 4 months.
So far, so good, man. Huh?
So, yeah.
Okay, dude. So I was gonna have Kevin and Craig give you some. Craig's pre-mission, but we're all gonna give you dating advice. But it sounds like you got this all figured out. So
no, it's crazy. It feels weird. Like sometimes I feel like I'm like you wake up and you think you're in Armenia or something. And
oh yeah,
it feels weird, but it's been great. Like I've been loving it down here. School, football, dating, friends, everything.
yeah.
So
Dude, that's awesome. Thanks for coming in, and I'm excited for you, man. I could tell you're very serious about this. You're a football guy. You want this, to be the way that you kind of find your way forward in life, and you're going to give it your all. And I'm excited for you, man. And it's been great to get to know you, talk, even talking out there beforehand when we're waiting on Trey and Johnny to finish up their podcast. I could tell, you're a great guy, and we're lucky to have you.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's just super cool that BYU is now a place where it is a legitimate football contender and people are going to come here to play.
Yeah.
Like, Provo does offer a lot of things, but we're getting people that they're coming here to play. Like, Trey and Johnny, they don't have any connections to Provo.
Yeah, they're not here because of their faith.
They came to play. I mean, obviously they
have
probably
faith.
love some things
about
BYU, and there's great things that they've probably come to appreciate, like being out here. Like it's fun. There's some great people out here, but they came to play, and that's what we're doing at BYU. So
yeah,
it's really cool,
dude.
You can have the highest level football, and also,
dude, it's becoming a premier college football destination.
It is.
You come, lock in on football, get elite strength and conditioning, get elite training from some of the best coaches in the country, be in an environment with essentially no distractions where everybody's there, get a great education.
Yep.
Like, dude, it is becoming one of the premier destinations. The NIL is competitive with anybody in the country. So it's special, man. It's cool that you're here too, because I feel like we've seen all this progress, like you talked about this last season, but I feel like we still haven't seen anything yet. Like it's continued to come, and you see the recruits who were just here and all this stuff. It just feels like it's building to be this amazing thing. So
it is. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Cool, man.
That's cool. Thank you for having me on.
Dude, yeah, I know you got early morning lifts, so we'll keep you locked in and focused on all that. So, all right. Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate you. Kevin, Craig, always a pleasure. And thank you to all the, followers, subscribers, fans out there. Appreciate you, and go Cougs.
Go Cougs. See you later, guys.